Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Japanese battleship, Amagi. It has 10 main guns, 32 secondary guns, 82 AA guns, a top speed of 30.4 knots. Total health, 66,300. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main battery, increased AA range, reduced flood and fire chance, faster rudder shift. And for my commander, situational awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, lower cooldown on damage control, and advanced firing training. We are on the map Hotspot. I spawned it on the southwest side. We're going to capture B, and then we're going to move to eliminate the enemy who spawned in the southeast side. Now the Amagi. Just got this ship. I upgraded the hull, speed. She is one of the fastest ships I've ever played. Technically, historically, she's a battle cruiser, so that makes sense that she would be so fast. And she's a pretty good ship. She has a little bit less range than her predecessor, but overall, she's a pretty effective ship, and this game is no exception. Now, I tried to fire on that Tirpitz, but he disappeared right as I set up a shot over the island, and of course, when you have no target selected, you don't gain any accuracy, and it slams into the island. Enemy Colorado, bringing up the rear, of course. The Colorado is so slow. I am almost 10 knots faster. This guy is going to get destroyed. We set up waterline shot. We only have access to the front guns, which we use. We have to make sure we don't run into the island, though. We slow down, we make sure the rudder's full port side, and then we continue on. We don't do any damage to the enemy Colorado. That's not okay, but we need to get over to the southeast spawn. We need to put pressure on the enemy before their northwest spawn puts pressure on our northeast spawn. It's really just a race. Who can get in a position to punish the enemy spawn? We fire the front guns again. We also have the back guns available for this shot. Front guns do no damage. The dispersion is everywhere but on target. The enemy Colorado fires on our position. The second shot does a little bit better, and then we see the enemy Tirpitz, he's run aground. He was either afraid of entering sea, or he was sailing poorly. So we set up waterline shot, and of course we fire. But the Pizzicola's like sailing in a circle around us. We don't leave the target quite as much, and we only have one shell make contact. It does 4,000, but we need better accuracy there. So we lead the target a little bit. He is backing up. We do 16,000. That's much better, especially for a Tirpitz. It's a very specific spot that you need to be able to penetrate to get that citadel penetration. So 16,000, satisfactory. He's going to take friendly torpedoes, and we're going to see if we can finish him off with another great waterline, and 8,000. That's okay. We're doing pretty good damage. We're trying our best. Our team lagging behind. I don't get players who dawdle. It is vitally important the first 3, 4, 5 minutes on Hotspot to get in position to punish the enemy. The Tirpitz is barely alive. He's burning. Friendlies fire on his position, and they finish him off. Great. Now we have a Colorado. He's at an angle, so it's not ideal. We're not going to get the most damage, but we don't really have a better target right now. We land 2 shells, do minimal damage, of course. Angled battleship with AP, not going to be successful. I would much rather have a directly front or behind, or broadside, obviously. Fire the rest of our guns, and they go everywhere but on target, of course. We have a couple enemy cruisers moving to the southeast side, and they're going to be an easier target to take out. We unload, hoping that we can get one back penetration, and no, not really. A single round goes near the target, does 3.5k damage. Otherwise, the guns just didn't work that time. Now, the enemy Mogami is sailing right towards us. He's got a pretty harsh angle, so we're going to wait for all our guns to reload, and we're going to hopefully see the target soften his angle in relation to us. All the guns are ready to go, and as we're moving forward, the angle is softening, just because we're moving away from the target. We do 25,000 points of damage, and we're able to knock out a gun, propulsion. Friendly finishes him off, and now there's just the enemy Phoenix, Tier 4 U.S. cruiser against a Tier 8 Japanese battleship. What do you think is going to happen here? We're waiting on our guns to reload. It's going to be a waterline shot. And they're fully reloaded. Waterline shot. Target is broadside with us, and target is eliminated. But oh no, there's an enemy Clemson. He sent out torpedoes. Oh, we got to deal with this. I'm not ready for this. Best thing we can hope for is it hits the belt armor. More torpedoes. Dang it. I'm moving as slow as I can. We're going to take 3 more torpedoes, more belt armor. We actually sustained very little damage. And the Clemson, he ran aground. This is not going to end well for him. Guns are reloaded, and we fire with AP, and we eliminate the target. The AP actually flew true that time. It went towards the target, so Clemson's eliminated. More torpedoes, but we're basically completely stopped at this point. The torpedoes are going to safely pass by without doing any damage to our position. We've got an enemy Colorado. He's taken a beating, but he's still angled. So the AP is not going to be ideal again. And again, the dispersion is awful. It's just bad. So we're going to try again. We have the chance to use a heal, which we do. We sustained a lot of damage from the torpedoes, but we're still alive. I was going to confirm that my friendly cruiser could take care of the enemy Cleveland, which he does. Otherwise, I was going to help him. Since he's taken him out, we're going to focus 100% on the Colorado, which shows the side. So, waterline shot. He's 8 kilometers away. Dispersion's awesome. And yes, another Citadel penetration. We also earned high caliber on that kill. So we've accomplished my goal of eliminating the southeast spawn. We still have 2 enemy destroyers, a enemy battleship, and the enemy aircraft carrier to deal with. We also don't have sea. Hopefully we can capture it. I noticed there's enemy torpedoes incoming. I'm going to make sure I don't hit them. I promise you I'm going to make sure I don't hit them. So at this point in the game, we need to make sure we capture sea. Notice we barely have any points considering how many enemy ships we've taken out. Our team was a little bit lazy on capturing points, and it shows. The enemy team is kept in the game, even though we vastly outnumber them. If they had a skillful player, out-tiered a lot of our ships, they could come back and win this game. But as long as we capture C, capture A, prevent the enemy from capturing B, it should be an easy victory. There's still 11 minutes in this game. I'm looking to fire on the enemy aircraft carrier. The island is in the way, unfortunately. So we're not going to get a chance to fire on him. And for some reason, he slowed way down. It's almost like he was deliberately trying to avoid me firing on him. Nobody else, 2 friendly cruisers can fire on his position, but I'm the only one on my team that really can't. Perhaps the battleship behind me, but it's so weird. I'm like, come on, guy, I want to kill you. But he's not going to let me kill him. A enemy destroyer is trying to capture B, but he's spotted by a friendly aircraft carrier. Maybe that battleship that really hasn't done anything can take out the enemy destroyer. The cruisers are just destroying the enemy aircraft carrier. He has only a third of his hit points left, and he's going down fast, and they eliminate the enemy aircraft carrier. There's just the North Carolina and the enemy destroyer. Now, we don't have to worry about enemy aircraft. I have recently tried the main gun accuracy on the Tirpitz. Now, the Tirpitz has okay accuracy. It's comparable to a US battleship in accuracy. They both have very long range. The dispersion is based on the range of the gun. They have 3 kilometers on the Amagi, for example, and that distance changes the maximum dispersion and how it equates to the overall accuracy of the gun. Because the Amagi only can reach out to 18 kilometers, of course it has less dispersion than a gun that reaches out to 22 kilometers. So it's really playing the game, getting a feel for it, taking all of the data and considering. Now, of course, we're fighting this North Carolina. Waterline shots. We get a really big shot. Considering he's angled, we get Confederate 12,000 points of damage. The enemy battleship is really trying to survive, though. Look at his angling. This is really hard to use AP effectively. Of course, we fire. We get 4K, 4 shells landing, nothing. Average damage, 1,000 points of damage per shell. That's unacceptable. We fire again. He is moving away from us. We don't lead the target as much as we can. If we did, we could possibly penetrate the backside. It has less armor than the broadside or an angled sloping side. And we're just not leading the target as much as we need to. North Carolina is a fast battleship, and again, the rounds bounce off harmlessly. Based on his angling, based on the way it's going, I should just use HE. The guy's so low, I'd finish him off with a couple salvos. That's probably the most challenging aspect of World of Warships, is knowing when you can use certain ammo types and when you need to use certain ammo types. Friendly carrier dies to the enemy destroyer, but the destroyer is killed by the friendly carrier. The battleship that was hanging around him, don't know what he's doing. He's not doing his job. Okay? You don't leave your carrier to get taken out by a destroyer if you plan on spending the entire game next to a carrier. Weird dispersion. We only have one round make contact with it, and it was barely on the edge, and it did 4,000 points of damage. Go figure. So, he is, of course, focused 100% on taking out the friendly cruiser. I just don't have the angling. I'm going to reposition and try and get better angling to do more damage. And we lead the target. We've got AP loaded. Front guns are ready to go. They only land minimal damage. Guy's still alive. He was successful in killing the friendly cruiser, and now he shows his side. This is so easy to penetrate. If he would have done this one time, he would have killed himself. And we're just waiting on a reload. Front guns are going to be ready before the back guns are even turned in position. Fire at the waterline. He's moving away slightly. And the dispersion is terrible. Lands everywhere but the waterline where it needed to land. We do minimal damage on the superstructure. And we got the back guns finally. So, lead the target. We just want to kill him. We know everything's going to land and kill him. Yeah, there we go. We take out the enemy North Carolina. The Amagi did a fantastic job. 4 kills, devastating strike, Confederate, high caliber. It was pretty good. It's early. I'm enjoying the ship though. 2,239 base XP. Somewhere in the realm of 150,000 points of damage. Certainly a good battleship for that kind of output, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Amagi in action. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.